Sometimes these things happen in MMA.
For the week of August 22nd through 28th, here we go, here you have it. This past weekend's UFC Fight Night 74 main event ended in a bit of awkward fashion. Max Holloway got the victory, but it was due to a torn esophagus by Charles Oliveira. He was forced to call it quits in the very first round. Two fighters retired this week after being victorious at UFC Fight Night 74. Frankie Perez announced his retirement in his post-fight speech, and on UFC Tonight, it was announced that Canadian Jordan Meehan was hanging up the gloves as well. Alexis Davis will be out of action until sometime in 2016, but not due to injury, instead because she's pregnant. So congratulations to her and her husband. WSOF exec Ali Abdelaziz told MMA Fighting's Ariel Helwani earlier this week that Melvin Gillard is a world champ tapper and he sucks. Yes, he was a former WSOF employee, so Ali Abdelaziz knows him fairly well. Chad Mendes versus Frankie Edgar is set for the main event of the TUF 22 finale in December. Finally, Alistair Overeem versus Junior Dos Santos has been announced. This one has been a long time coming. It is the co-main event at UFC on Fox 17. TMZ spoke with both Miesha Tate and Chris Cyborg, and they both believe they have been screwed by the UFC because Holly Holm will get the next crack at Ronda's belt. Now, in an interview on the Joe Rogan Experience, UFC Vice President of Health and Performance, Jeff Nowitzki, the same guy that took Balco down, said that UFC fighters must deal location at all times or they will face consequences. This is crazy. Talk about some sort of CIA stuff going on here. Let's get right into fight announcements. Thiago Alves versus Benson Henderson is official for UFC Fight Night Korea. And Mirko Kokop also says he's on that card. He's fighting against Anthony Hamilton. Stefan Struve versus Jared Roshold is set for UFC 193. Nate Diaz finally gets back inside the octagon against Michael Johnson in a pivotal lightweight match at UFC on Fox 17. And finally, Brandon Vera returns to the One Championship cage to take on Chai Lewis Perry at One Championship 35. That does it for this edition of Sometimes These Things Happen in MMA.